Hey you and welcome. My name's Mike, and in this old new, maybe, video we're talking about the unluckiness of Mackenzie Lueck. Mackenzie was a student at the University of Utah. Oh boy, once again we're in Utah. Huzzah. And one day she perused a website looking for, well, not love. And she didn't find it there either, spoiler alert. Instead she would find the author of a book that's so bad it's kind of funny. But the rest of the story isn't funny. So, let's give it a go, you and I, come on. It all started when Mackenzie stopped replying to text messages, stopped opening Snapchats she was getting from, well, she generally just went AWOL from her friends and family in June 2019. See, around that time, Mackenzie's grandmother, whom she was close with, had recently passed away, so when she began ghosting people, it seemed like, she was more than likely just in mourning for her granny and didn't want to talk to anyone. Mackenzie, she was from California. She'd actually just come back from there to Utah after attending her granny's funeral. At age 23, she was the second oldest of 4 children, and the only girl. She'd grown up with her family in El Segundo, attended high school there, and now she was in not Utah, Utah. She was a student at the University of Utah in Salt Lake City, majoring in kinesiology? That's not right, and pre-nursing. After a few days, when, nobody could get through to her, find out where she was, it was on the 20th of June at about 4 p.m. that her dad called the Salt Lake City Police Department to report her missing. See, she had just been with her family, and then on the 17th of June, she flew back to Salt Lake International Airport. But then, she simply disappeared. The last thing anyone knew was a text she had sent when she landed in Salt Lake City in the early hours of June 17th. Around 2 a.m. She texted her mother, landed, love you mama. The search for Mackenzie and, trying to find out where she'd gone after she had landed, then began. It appeared that once she got off the plane and out of the airport, she got into a lift. And from there, nobody knew. Did she get into the car? It drove? There was some kind of car accident? Did the driver try and steal her away? Well, that's what the search aimed to find out. That's why it's called a search. Her university classmates and friends were out in full force spreading the word.
Missing posters continue to pepper Salt Lake City streets, hoping to find an answer to the question, what happened to Mackenzie Lueck?
Where could she have gone? Her car has not been moved. Things are adding up.
Mackenzie hasn't been heard from in nearly a week.
She's been missing since Monday.
The police have said that they have no reason to believe she's in danger. But at this point, it's been 7 days. Kenzie, if you can hear this, we are all worried and looking out for you 24/7.
Now, the cops were kind of, slow to act. Sure, be grand. They weren't exactly, itching and raring to go. And I'll tell you why. You can disappear if you want, if you really, really want. I mean, I wouldn't recommend it. It's kind of a dickish, thing to do to, your friends and family. But, it's not against the law. And she was 23 years old. She, if she wanted to go off on a bit of a wander about the place, she could. And there was no signs of foul play, at this time. The police thought that's exactly what happened. And she would turn up one way or the other. Which is not very helpful. It would be over a week after, she had last been heard from on June 25th. That they'd be like, all right, here, for feck's sake, we'll do a press conference. Janie, Mac, jeez.
We have a still photo pulled from the airport surveillance cameras showing Mackenzie during the time she spent in the airport after her flight landed. Going by the timestamps on the video, she deplaned at 2:09 a.m. and got into the lift at 2:40 a.m. Over the course of approximately 31 minutes, Mackenzie walked from the jetway to catch the lift with a quick stop to pick up her luggage. She did not appear to talk to anyone in the airport.
That's when they got the finger out. And that's when they also released their images of her at the airport.
I would like to say again, Mackenzie, in the case you just want to be left alone, please let us know you are safe.
That's when the police tracked down and spoke to that Lyft driver, who said, yep, I picked her up at the airport, we drove, dropped her off safe and sound. But he didn't drop her off at home. Not that he would know where her home is. I'm paraphrasing here. Instead, he picked her up from the airport and dropped her off at a park at about 3 a.m. There, the Lyft driver said she got out of the car and he saw her meet with someone and get in their car before driving off. This was confirmed to be, plausible. He had left her there, confirmed via phone and call data, and he had picked somebody else up right after.
Detectives have spoken with the Lyft driver and learned that Mackenzie was met at Hatch Park by an individual in a vehicle. The Lyft driver left Mackenzie at the park with that person and stated that Mackenzie did not appear to be in any type of distress. We have not yet confirmed the make and model of the car or a description of the person.
SHIT's getting pretty real, excuse my language. So, who dat? And what, secrets did, old Mackenzie have? Well, her friends would say she was shy and looking for her own path forward, for want of a better word. She grew up in the Church of Latter-day Saints, but seemingly wasn't really into that sort of stuff, which is, ironic because she moved to Utah. They knew she was trying to be more outgoing, more adventurous. Meeting somebody in a park at 3 a.m? Probably not the kind of adventurous anybody really wants to be, but the Lyft driver said they seemed friendly, casual. It seemed like she knew whoever this guy was. It was then that something happened completely by chance. Actually, it happened a couple of weeks earlier.
3 weeks before Mackenzie Lueck disappeared, private investigator Rob Joseph randomly met the University of Utah student at a downtown bar.
I became aware that Mackenzie's the girl that went missing.
For Joseph, her disappearance became a personal quest to find out what happened.
I believe this was her first contact with this guy.
Joseph, a former Salt Lake City police officer, has been uncovering leads since Monday.
While at a bar in the city, a former cop turned private eye had actually met Mackenzie and they started chatting, just randomly. And she just happened to reveal to him that she was on a dating website, a very specific one called Seeking Arrangement. It's, if you're looking to find yourself an L, literally L, sugar daddy. On this place, you can, quote, upgrade your relationship from whatever piece of shit relationship you're in right now with some loser to some rich old guy that will mentor, pamper, and also have 3 other sugar babies. Not gonna lie, that seems kind of, dodgy? Kind of weird. But whatever floats your boat, feck it, get as much money out of these old bastards as you can. Her profile on that site was then quickly found. And it seems from her Facebook posts that this was, something she was more than familiar with. So then, likely, whoever's car she got into had something to do with that. Whoever, would soon be revealed when they got a hold of Mackenzie's phone records, and it showed that she had been in contact with a fella named AJ. AJ's phone was also in the park that night within 1 minute of Mackenzie's phone being there. So, yeah.
After days of silence, a move on Mackenzie's Instagram account. This happened yesterday. It suddenly followed a page called Fatherless, and that is what led police to a home in Fair Park. The owner of that house now being called a person of interest.
So the police then decided, hey, maybe we should head on over, start yapping away with him, have a goo at his place. Which they did. Roll the body cam.
He's not happy about it.
Yeah, they didn't give me the search warrant. I authorized it before. And then when they said the search...
We don't have the search warrant in hand.
Can I borrow your phone then to call my lawyer?
I'm going to give you her phone number right now. You remember her name when we went that?
Susanna.
Yep.
Is there anyone else in there? Let's make sure.
Please, go ahead and search
Put on gloves.
You're gonna wait until the search warrant gets here?
You can grab the search when I get here. But let's say it's going out, so you search when I get here.
We're not gonna search anything.
Clear this room, clear in the bathroom. They are scrolling through my phone. Without the warrant, they are going through my phone.
You done with the phone?
Thank you, sir.
You wanna? No garage, no house, no car. I'm not.
The update, man. We'll call it.
I have no update.
You look like mailbox, man. By the way, we both got our best.
I look like what?
You're like the mailbox. USPS.
I am USPS. Like we said, as soon as we know something, I'll tell you, okay?
Better hope he's not the postal service. That means he's gonna raise his rates every day. Not be efficient.
Exactly. Did you say you're going to which library?
There's a library down this road.
On the other side of the freeway.
Yeah.
100 West?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a new one, right?
Yeah, it's very new. It has couch that I can just sleep. But I will be there, and I don't have a phone, but if you guys walk in, I will sit where you can see me.
Okay.
I will tell them, and maybe they'll send me to pick you up and see if you want to come back.
The police officer picking me up there. That
In my nice red Camry. But if you pee in it, I'll take you to jail. Like
But I have to pee.
All right, AJ.
Good luck, man.
So is that where you'll probably be?
Yeah, unless you want me to stay, I'm happy to stay.
No, you're welcome to leave if you want to. If we wanted to come talk to you, is that where you think you'll be?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Good luck, man.
Thank you. Spend a couple $100 on trees.
What's going on, man?
So, detectives are ready to talk to you about everything that's going on real fast, so if you want to come, I'll give you right back to the house real quick.
For there's Fox News over there.
I know, I'm going to drive you back in my car. It's a Camry, so...
We'll stay away from the news.
Yeah, we're not going to go by the news.
But I don't want my face on the news.
I will do that so it does, okay? So stand up real quick.
Go ahead. We're just going to... Oh, are you arresting me or something?
No. Stand up.
Then why you're going to be detained for a little bit.
You're being detained, but just for a second, okay? I got to put you in handcuffs just while we're driving.
Per policy, we're
We're just going to go talk to detectives for a little bit.
Why are you detaining me?
Because you need to talk to detectives, and I need to transport you back. So my policy says every time someone's in my car, they will wear handcuffs. So that's why they're...
Oh, there's a news over there.
They can come right back.
We're probably not going to take... We'll take you to another spot so you're not by the news.
Okay?
We should
How did the news find out?
We were wondering the same thing.
Either you didn't have a conversation with her or you did. We know you did. We know that you had a conversation continuing. We know that your phone takes you up in the exact same area as she was dropped off. Coincidence? Nope. Facts? Yep. Did you meet with her up in Salt Lake that night? No. Okay, your phone records are going to show different.
A week and a half now to prepare. And we have been very busy because I care about Mackenzie. And I want her. I think you did care about her. I agree. And I know that there's more for you to tell me, and you're holding back, and I don't understand why. AJ, I just told you that your phone records and the location put you up at the meet. Do you think, honestly, and expect me to believe that you ended that conversation and somehow you and her location end up in the exact same spot?
Oh, I'm not doubting you. If I see that too, if I'm in your case, I would be asking myself, what are you asking me right now?
It's not a miraculous question.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Okay.
Stuff doesn't just happen.
No.
Yes, I agree with you.
I'm telling you to explain that. And so far, you have not.
Well, how do I explain something I don't know?
Are you saying you don't know or you don't remember? Because those are two different things, AJ.
Anything in your pockets that I need to be aware of or anything like that? We'll put that in there for you. We'll put that in there for you. Whose cuffs are those? Hold on to that for a second for me. Leila, do me a favor. Just stand up and face the wall for me. I'm going to make sure you got everything off you.
AJ was then arrested. AJ, real name Ayoola Ajayi, 32 years old, was originally from Nigeria, and he had met Mackenzie on Seeking Arrangement. They had been in contact since 2018. He had previously been a model
terrain. We turn seeming
and was briefly a member of the Utah Army National Guard, and at this time was working as an IT specialist. He also had been an author, I don't know, maybe he's going to turn into a series, of a little old book called Forge Identity. Let's give it a... find out what the summary is. I'm sure it's good. Ezekiel was almost 15 when he witnessed a gruesome murder. An angry mob burned his neighbor alive in the street, and the man died at his feet. Sadly, it was not the last time he witnessed such horror. With his well-respected father as guide and mentor, Ezekiel saw this death, then a death much closer to home when a loved one was killed in the same brutal, terrifying way 50 feet from him, and he could do nothing to stop it. Staggering to recover from these severe traumas, he finds relief and joy in meeting his first love, becomes embroiled in grand theft, and experiences heartbreaking betrayal. Ooh. Ezekiel must decide if he will join the ranks of a criminal mastermind, or fight to escape the tyranny that has surrounded his young life, or even beat them at their own game. When trust is lost, can he even trust himself? I don't know, but I'm excited to find out. Oh no! Sounds amazing. I mean, even that trailer on the book's Facebook page looks just, I'm speechless. It's so good. The reviews aren't great. AJ had previously been a student at the University of Utah, studying computer science, but after encountering visa issues, and some said he may have stolen an iPad, he was barred from campus. He eventually returned, but never got the degree. He had been married, well, was still technically by this age, but separated from a woman named Tanisha, who left him due to his violent outbursts.
I can't explain this, but he was like real aggressive, real aggressive. Because he wanted me to remove her. You talked to be with him, and I told him no. And I jumped through the window, and he had a butcher knife, was trying to stab me with the knife, and I ended up cutting my hand.
He was living in Salt Lake City, and his house was listed on Airbnb, though it had some things that Airbnb certainly does not allow, I hope. First of all, cameras all over the house, 3 of them in the bedroom alone, watching you while you snooze. A few months before Mackenzie went missing, AJ had asked the contractor, hey, come on over here, he asked this contractor to build a secret underground lair in his house. He said, could you build like a little secret kind of room under the house, under the front porch, a little hidden door? The reason he told the contractor was that, he wanted to hide his alcohol, his booze from his Mormon partner, his Mormon girlfriend, It's like, I'm just gonna put booze in there, don't worry about it, it's nothing, sinister. He then said, hey, I like to listen to music super loud, so could you soundproof that little compartment as well? It would be my little drinking cubby. And then he also asked the contractor to install hooks on the ceiling, hanging out. And that's not all. The one other thing he asked the contractor to do was to make it secure. Not like, lock and key secure. I'm talking biometric fingerprint scanning secure. What?
Because of the implication.
The contractor noped the shit out of there. So he had a history of not 1 but 2 sexual assaults. Neither time charges were pressed. Police searched his backyard. He was released the next day for a day because he was then rearrested.
KSL TV was on the scene as this unfolded and captured this exclusive video. You can see officers in tactical gear gathering on the side of the building, weapons drawn. Murder suspect Ayoola Ajayi is then seen slowly walking toward the officers with his hands raised, one hand holding a cell phone to his ear. As he reaches the officers, the 31-year-old hands over the phone. The SWAT team members lower their guns and place Ajayi in handcuffs. Officers then enter the building. Minutes later, they return and transfer Ajayi across the street to the back seat of a police car. Later this afternoon, crime scene vehicles showed up and entered the building with bags and cameras. This all happened very quickly, really less than a half hour.
After an exhaustive week of investigation, we are filing charges of aggravated murder, aggravated kidnapping, obstruction of justice, and desecration of a body in the homicide of Mackenzie Lueck. The man charged with these horrific and tragic crimes is the person of interest, Ayoola Adese Achaya. I will not be saying the killer's name again.
Police uncovered in his backyard evidence that he had burned something in a makeshift fire pit. There, they found some of Mackenzie's belongings and, well, some of Mackenzie.
Camera's on, what you got?
Okay, so there's this, she came. There's the, like, piece of burned jean or, right here.
Burned what?
Jeans.
Okay, what do you got here?
I have no idea what this is.
Where did they hand this to you?
Yeah. She said it was in her yard right here.
Alright, I need you to secure this. Don't let anybody out of that house or into the backyard. Where was this found?
She picked it up. It's like brown, but it's can't see like burned stuff in there. They said they went back there.
They have? Alright. Yeah, don't touch anything.
AJ had bought a gas can 6 hours after she got into his car, and neighbours would say he had lit a big fire there around the 17th, 18th of June. Mackenzie's body, however, was still missing. Then, still using AJ's phone data, they learned that a week after Mackenzie's disappearance, he had travelled north to a place called Logan Canyon, and he was there for 2 hours. Following the signals left by his phone, they found Mackenzie in the woods.
We recovered the body on Wednesday.
The Lueck family would like to express their gratitude for the effort put forth by the Salt Lake City Police Department.
Her friends say that Mackenzie shouldn't be labeled or judged for someone that she wasn't, based on rumors being spread by people who don't know her. They say Mackenzie was the kindest and sweetest person, someone that could always lift their spirits and make them laugh.
AJ had planned to murder Mackenzie from the very get-go. He'd already turned off the surveillance, in his house before they even got there. He was thinking ahead. He then strangled her with a belt, and she passed due to blunt force trauma to the head. He then burnt her body and then dumped it in the woods to the north. AJ would be charged with kidnapping and sexual assault, both of those relating to the 2 other women he attacked. Also, he was charged with 19 counts of sexual exploitation of a minor when pictures were found on his computer. So, swell. In relation to Mackenzie Lueck, he pled guilty to first-degree aggravated murder and third-degree desecration of a human body. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole in October 2020. One fella from down the road, a fella meaning a retired FBI agent, said that and thought that AJ was on his way to becoming a serial killer.
He certainly wasn't a pro at this. The crime scene was handled so poorly, and the way he tried to hide evidence was done so badly. I think he was a burgeoning, very dangerous, possibly going to be a serial killer.
AJ himself said it was all planned out. He'd covered his tracks to a degree, and he killed because he just wanted to know what it felt like. And as we've seen before, once a killer, pops, very hard to stop. Some good came out of this case, though. Mackenzie's sorority, sisters, they set up a non-profit, Mackenzie's Voice, to help in other missing persons cases and provide support to the families, which is great. Unlike AJ.
Achaya.
I mean, here, look at that. That's a guy who knows he's really screwed now. Good. Thank you so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. I will see you, as always, real soon in the next one. Till then, take care of yourselves. Mike out.